I'm gonna start with saying that I'm not the most... Alright, it's not gonna let me. Oh, there we go. I'm not the most in touch with, like, what people want, so we're gonna go through this step by step. I think that the opening's weird, first of all. That it doesn't start with a YouTuber at all. It starts with Will Smith. So, there was a large push for PewDiePie to start it by just clapping and saying YouTube rewind review or whatever. Or, you know, whatever it was gonna be, but he obviously said that that wouldn't happen, and it's obvious now that it didn't happen. But this is how it starts. Which I think is weird.
Rewind time. Yep, I control rewind. I would want Fortnite and Marquez Brown.
So, right off the bat, that is the first thing that I'm mad about, is that it's like, what if you controlled rewind, right? Are you trying to tell me that fucking Will Smith just sits around being like, man, you know what would be great? More fucking Fortnite. We don't have enough of that shit. You know? Like, one second, I need to check one thing. Okay, we are on here. So he just sits around, he's like, I just want more Fortnite in my life. Oh shit, I may have broken it. Okay, we're good, we're coming back. So, that's the first thing that irked me, was it's like, oh, well, hello, pandering. Literally 19 seconds into the video, it's like, hey, how about we pander to our audience here? It's like, fuck off, mate.
Is this what you wanted?
You know who I would have asked for?
And so, like, this is the other thing. He's a Twitch person, that's his thing. I get it, you can have whatever you want, this is a fantasy or whatever, but YouTube Rewind at a time was for representing what YouTube is, and was for it was a way that YouTube showed its community that it knew that it existed and that it loved it. You know, it was a congratulations to the community of YouTube, we're still doing something. This is not the community of YouTube. Ninja is not YouTube. I don't care who you are. He can be the face of Fortnite, he can be the face of whatever. He's not the face of YouTube. I tell you that right now.
Play me some of that jumping music. Okay.
And we'll get to this in a bit, but there's a part in this where they very strongly, like, force, like, a very, like, here's what women have done. You know, women are so amazing. Women. And, like, I get it. Women are amazing. Trust me. I know. But it almost, at this point, having Ninja in it, like, I'm not trying to harp on Ninja and the things he said, but he's very, like, I don't play with women that aren't my wife, or I won't stream with women, or whatever. And I think that either YouTube realized that people would make that connection, they're like, we need to throw women as much as possible to, you know, make them feel as good as possible to distance ourselves from what Ninja said, or, you know, it just doesn't make sense to me.
You said jumping music?
Jumping music.
And so, you know, it's weird. So this part's just, you know, it's I thank the bus driver meme. Bad memes are fine. It doesn't matter. But, like, it is a weird thing, though, to hear Ninja say that in a YouTube Rewind. Again, because he's not a YouTube star. He didn't, you know, become the most viewed person on YouTube. He's not the most subscribed person on YouTube. He's the biggest Twitch person. That's, like, his thing. Now, this is when it all starts. So, we control Rewind. That's the whole thing. But it just seems so empty to me, because it doesn't seem like we control Rewind is actually what's happening. What it seems is like YouTube wants us to tell its community that, you know, we need to close the gap between YouTube and the community. We need to make YouTube and the community feel close again. And it's like, this is not the best way to do it.
Y'all, we can do whatever we want. What do?
We do whatever was popular. That's what this becomes. It becomes, we can do whatever we want. Let's pander.
One thing this video needs. K-pop!
Like, this is just weird to me. Because it's just the most pandering piece of shit. You know what I mean? Like, we control it. So let's do only what's the most popular, but none of what's controversial at all. We can't have any PewDiePie, you know? We can't have the representatives of Smosh in it. We can't fucking...
What of us?
Oh, Bongo Cat, oh no. Like, good meme. I don't care. I'm sorry, I don't want to rip on Bongo Cat, but I'm kidding.
Needs more science. Could we do an experiment?
Love that. Melting lipsticks.
Like, it's... what part of this is representation? For... I mean, I get the Korean market's been getting huge and great, but it's just weird to me that this is supposed to be everyone controls YouTube Rewind, but it seems very
Marshmallow needs to be in these videos.
manipulative.
Who is Marshmallow? How about Jodeling? With that a ribbon.
More manipulative than usual. Because it is just dumb jokes, memes, editing, whatever, and then, what is it, like, pretty soon up in here, it's gonna get real heavy-handed real quick. So,
Let's do the In My Feelings challenge.
I love this, though. This is the one thing that I love, is the representation of animators. Animators are by far the hardest working content creators on YouTube, and they get hit the hardest because they don't fit the algorithm. So it's wonderful that YouTube has partnered with... Alright, I want to bring this up too. It's wonderful that there's a lot of animator representation. I love that. This, though, this is a network television show. This is a... I need to reiterate this. This is a network television show. You know what I mean? Like, this is not... This right here is not what YouTube is. I love Trevor Noah. I love The Daily Show. I watch almost every episode, and admittedly, I watch it on YouTube. But it's not, in my opinion, what YouTube is. At all. He's a show. They have money thrown behind him. He's actually a well-established show that he has taken over. That has a corporation that's putting money into him. Right? The glory of YouTube was that it's a different type of connection between content creators and their and the viewer. That's what YouTube was, and that's what it should be, and I think that's what it should be glorifying. The problem is that YouTube isn't glorifying that. They're glorifying pretty much, from what I'm noticing, what makes them money. This seems like the most, like, congratulations, you make us money. Alright, I love the John Oliver bit, though. That one... Again, though, John Oliver's part of HBO. He's not a YouTuber. This idea that we're putting these... There's so many YouTubers. Alpha Lad got to 1 million subs. We saw it last year, all the channels that had 1 million subs or more. It was insane. So it's not like there's not enough YouTubers. You know, you don't need Twitch... Oh my god. Again, the love for the animators is wonderful.
Wait, hold on.
Now, here we go. Now's where it gets heavy-handed.
Needs to be in this rewind video? Everyone who managed
So this is who needs to be in this, by the way. You ready for who needs to be in this?
something bigger than themselves this year. Who found a way to help the causes that matter to them most.
To everyone who
There they were! That was everyone who helped causes that mattered the most. That's what they get. Hey, smile at the camera for 2 seconds. I don't know who these fucking, like,
It's okay to talk about mental health this year.
this part.
Showing their viewers that it's okay to go through tough times like that.
It takes a lot of bravery
Alright.
to be that vulnerable, and I'm so proud of this community.
There you go. Mental health and being vulnerable. These are 2 big things. And yes, mental health issues and being vulnerable are a thing. There's been there's been a lot of YouTubers who are going through burnout and stuff this year, or whatever you want to call it, and they're having issues and they're being able to address it with their viewer base, right? Been a lot of apologies, there's been a lot of drama and stuff, right? So right now we're talking about mental health and being brave and vulnerable.
I think this year's Rewind should celebrate the fierce, fabulous, and empowering art of drag.
So here's where the problem starts for me. They set up mental health issues and being brave and vulnerable. And then they bring up drag queens. No offense to drag queens. They can do whatever they want. Continue doing whatever. Do you know who they don't bring up? They don't bring up the transgender community. Hence the title of the secret battle waged against transgender people. And here's why this is a problem. It's a problem because nobody's bringing it up. Because nobody talks about how we've made all these strides. Women are more represented. Asians are more represented. The people with mental hardships are more represented. People are able to be more vulnerable. But you know who can't? Transgenders. Because the government is attempting to change the definition of gender to what you're assigned at birth, therefore making it so that way legally there is no such thing as a transgender person. Transgender people can no longer serve in the military. And in my experience alone, transgender people are bullied to an extent online where it's hard to want to continue. This is my problem, and when your title is Everyone Controls Rewind, when you're having the moment where you're like, look how far we've come in a society, but you don't address a group of people who's been just insanely oppressed over the last 2 years, to a point where we may not legally be allowed to exist anymore the way we do, we have a problem.
I want to see all of you be your own kind of beautiful.
और वो लोग जिन्होंने एजुकेशन के फील्ड के लिए पैसा जुटाया है.
Can we also give a
Yeah.
moment to Asian representation in entertainment this year? Major strides were made.
And you know who hasn't been represented either? This is a great point. Congratulations to the Asian community and their representation in Hollywood. Did you know that, I believe it was in the last year, there was a huge controversy over Scarlett Johansson playing a mob boss in a movie who was a transgender mob boss, who was born female and became male? There was a huge controversy over that because they got a female to play this character during his male years. So now another point where they're addressing things that are also problems for the transgender community. And I'm not just trying to sit around and have this pity party like, oh, woe is me, transgender this, transgender that, blah, blah, blah. But like when your title is everyone and everything you make also applies to a community, but then you never bring them up by name, you disenfranchise and distance yourself from that community and risk singling them out in a way that it's like there is a secret battle being waged against us to where no one wants to talk about us or our struggles in this in this modern society.
Yeah, and created something really special.
Here's to all women in 2018 finding their voices. Foi muito bacana ver como as mulheres cresceram esse ano, elas ganharam poder.
Can we give a moment to working moms? Gambarimashou.
E a todo mundo que ensinou.
See, and then this whole shout out to women, right? Like, could have easily snuck something in there, and a big shout out to all the transgender people who are fighting through whatever. Like, it's so easy. That's the problem. And I know that there's transgender YouTubers. I know there are. There aren't famous ones, but I know that they exist. I exist. You know, and it's one of those things where I can't be the only one. When there's 13 billion or million or however many hours uploaded every second, I can't be the only one. There's 8 billion people on this planet, I can't be the only one. You know. So, it's hard. It seems truly like everyone is brought up except for us. And I think it's because people don't understand that the transgender community is still under attack.
I want to give a moment to everyone who supported me when I got sick. All of the comments and messages I got made me...
And that, it's like, I got sick, and people were nice to me. I don't want to be mean. I'm sad that you were sick. I'm glad you got support to help you through it. But that's a great time for someone to be like, yeah, I came out and I was supported. But they don't do that. They do nothing to combat the toxicity and the stigma around transgender people. They don't announce us. They don't represent us, and that's a problem because in this day and age, no one seems to represent the transgender community.
I feel like I wasn't alone.
And it would have been easy too to bring up. Now I think about it, they don't even bring up any of the gay community, and none of the LGBT community has any representation anywhere throughout this in terms of like being said that they matter. Like maybe there's an LGBT, but there's not. Like Shane Dawson exists. He has a boyfriend. It's fucking cute. All right, have one of them just say a thing. Like it's just so. It just seems like it's pandering to only the people that are big, to only the phenomena, to only the people that make them money.
I think we should read the comments.
And this part too, like, glorifying the comments. The,
Yeah, I have a feeling this is about to get a little bit crazy.
you know,
Give the people what they want.
I want representation. That's what I want. So they get this whole, like, they go really, they just go so, like, serious, like, we need to take a moment to really jack off these groups of people for a second. Alright, now back to silliness. And I was like, come on, like, is that really the best course of action? Save that for the end. What a fucking 180 tonal shift. That makes no real sense. You know? Like, what is this? Why is this anything that anyone cares about, right? Fortnite dance is cool. Have PewDiePie do the intro to YouTube Rewind. Have PewDiePie exist. Acknowledge the T-Series debacle. Like, YouTube just doesn't care about things that are important to the community, and you can tell that it's important to the community. Like, the T-Series war, I don't want to get too big into this, but the war between PewDiePie and T-Series is such a huge deal because of the fact, and you can tell because everyone's chipped in. Everyone said something. All the major creators have said something about this. But YouTube won't say anything about it because there's controversy behind it, and they don't want to get involved in controversy. When it's sad because it's like, hey, an out of nowhere faceless corporation is taking down one of the people responsible for popularizing your platform. There was a time when Smosh was the biggest platform, right? When they had the most subscribers. Look at their subscribers now and look at PewDiePie's. Like, you gotta understand how little you're representing your actual community, your creators in this. You know, there's so many people that they just hate to represent, and I think it's because of controversy. You know, there's just no message to...
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
And there it was. That was YouTube Rewind. Do you understand what I'm getting at? For something that says everyone, they don't address a lot of people. There were a lot of things that happened that they could have at least been like, can we give our hearts out to these people? Can we give solidarity to these people? You know, there was a synagogue that got shut up. They could have brought up some Jewish, you know, YouTubers. There was a, you know, there's the problem is that every time they do it distastefully and they get controversy behind it. This just seems like the most like, let's just try to look progressive in the least controversial way possible. And it's easy to tell what they're doing, and it's sad to see it happen. These are my thoughts. That's really all I got.